Hi, good morning. The chat is disabled.
Good morning, Ms. Mary. Thank you for letting me know that. Let me see what's happening. Give me 1 minute. All right, can you test the chat for me, please? All right, awesome. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. You'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. I hope everybody is doing well today. I hope everybody had an awesome weekend and a great start to your week. And I hope everybody is celebrating their losses. All right, we talked about mistakes that we've made yesterday, and we celebrated them, right? We celebrated the lessons that we've learned from them, the things that we have to gain. So I hope we're celebrating our losses and looking for those opportunities for growth without beating ourselves up, but surely looking at the opportunities and being excited about those opportunities that come through mistakes. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So we're going to dive in. We're going to take a look at a couple of things from trading economics. Then we'll take a look at the charts. And what we'll do, since we're focusing on dollar pairs, I have to go back and remark some of my dollar charts. So we'll go back through. If you could just ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. But we'll go back and we'll remark some of my dollar charts, right? Repetition is the mother of all skill. So we'll get some visual reps in and we'll take a look to see where these dollar pairs are, right? So let's hop over to trading economics. All right, so here we see we got UK jobless rate steady at 3.8%. The unemployment rate in the UK held at 3.8% in the 3 months to May, suggesting that the labor market remains robust despite rising prices squeezing the cost of living. Also, the number of people in employment increased by 296,000, the biggest gain since the 3 months to August last year. However, regular pay, which excludes bonuses, fell by a record 2.8% when adjusted for inflation. All right. So UK still moving forward, right? Economy still growing. Oil. This is an interesting topic here. Spend a little bit of time here because there's some interesting back and forth. But WTI crude futures fell below 102 on Tuesday, halting an over 5% rally in the previous session on prospects that some major oil producers from the Gulf Corporation Council would boost production. Senior U.S. State Department Advisor for Energy Security, Amos Hochstein, said there's additional spare capacity and room for production increase following U.S. President Biden's visit to the Middle East. Meanwhile, Saudi ministers insisted that the policy decisions would be based on market dynamics. And according to the OPEC meeting on August the 3rd, U.S. oil benchmark has been swinging down since mid-June amid growing recession concerns driven by aggressive rate hikes worldwide, COVID-19 lockdowns in China, and Western proposals for price cap on Russian oil. So this is an interesting conversation because there are conflicting reports coming out of the Middle East in regards to this meeting with President Joe Biden. This one says that they do have some spare capacity. There are other reports coming out of Saudi Arabia that says from the prince's side of the conversation that there wasn't any progress at all and nothing has changed from that perspective when it comes to capacity. So the other side of this is there's a suspicion because Saudi Arabia currently still buys Russian oil, right? So there's a sneaking suspicion if somewhere they come up with some additional capacity, quote unquote, right? And the US starts buying more oil from Saudi Arabia. The suspicion is that Saudi Arabia is just going to be selling the United States oil that they purchased from Russia. So that's the interesting backside of this that doesn't get talked about in the public for obviously very obvious reasons. Yeah, it's hilarious, but that's politics, right? So that's the interesting dynamic with oil. So we could see more oil become available as Russia is continuing to shut off and the Western Europe continues to move through the process to cap oil and those sorts of things. But that could be the case. So if we see availability, that's what it is. That's what it could likely be. The other piece of this is the Nord Stream pipeline. Nord Stream pipeline is still shut down. It's supposed to be shut down for I think another 2 or 3 days. And Canada just sent the turbine that was being fixed back to Europe. But Russia is saying that they don't think that it will be opened on time. Nord Stream pipeline is one of the largest pipelines that pushes oil through to Europe. It's controlled by Russia. And they're saying that they don't believe that it will be up and running on time. And they don't have a time frame on which they are certain that it will be available, right? So that's also going to put a wrench in this conversation. So we could continue to see this back and forth bounce in oil and a narrative. What's the word I'm looking for? Continued back and forth in the narrative, right? And as folks try to control the narrative to ultimately get the reaction that they want to get from the market in one direction or the other. So interesting conversation to follow. If you guys have time, Google, YouTube, look at some of the details in this oil conversation from both sides, not just what we get in the news from the United States, but also from news outlets from other countries to hear different perspectives. Because there's information that isn't necessarily told to us here from our news outlets that we can get additional insight from other news outlets. So definitely check that out. Definitely dive into that as we look at oil as it moves back and forth. All right. Very interesting conversation. Then we have Aussie. All right. We had the RBA meeting minutes come out. Australian dollar climbs toward 69 cents on Tuesday, rebounding further from 2-year lows hit last week after the Reserve Bank of Australia signaled further monetary tightening in July. Meeting minutes as it deemed interest rates were still very low for an economy with a tight labor market and facing a period of higher inflation. The RBA raised interest rates by larger than expected 50 basis points to 1.35% earlier in July. And markets are speculating an even bigger 75 basis point move amid strong labor market and upside risk to inflation. The latest data showed Australian employment surged 88,000 in June, more than double the forecast of 30,000 while the unemployment rate dived to a 48-year low at 3.5%. Meanwhile, Aussie continues to face pressure from Federal Reserve's aggressive tightening path and escalating risk for global recession. All right. So we have some hawkish news come out of the Reserve Bank of Australia, right? So we got some positive pushes in the Aussie. Okay, so that's another one that we'll keep your eyes on. We'll take a look at the Aussie dollar, see where it sits. All right. Those are the big ones for right now. All right, we'll hop over to Forex Factory. Right. And right, RBA monetary policy minutes, right? They came out last night, 9:30. Today we have Governor Bailey speaking at 11 o'clock. Governor Lowe, Reserve Bank of Australia, speaking tonight at 7:10 p.m. Then tomorrow morning we have CPI coming out for the pound. Okay, and then Canadian dollar CPI as well. And then later on in the evening, we have monetary policy statement coming out of the Bank of Japan. The sentiment still remains that the Bank of Japan is going to stay on their path. No one thinks that they're going to make any changes at the moment, even though there have been small hints of potential intervention, right? They've tried to have that conversation with the United States, didn't necessarily go anywhere. But some folks still think that the Bank of Japan could intervene at some point. Is that point now? Uncertain. But for all intents and purposes, expecting the Bank of Japan to come in with the interest rate staying the same. All right. So that's just a quick update through tomorrow. Any questions from a fundamental perspective? No. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ryan?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing great.
Awesome. You come across anything additional from the fundamental side of things?
No, not really. I'm mainly just waiting to see what they're going to do. The ECB is going to do this week with that rate hike.
Yeah.
It's expected 25 basis points, but some people saying, it needs to really be 50.
Right.
So it'll be interesting, and then everything with that whole that Nord Stream pipeline.
Yeah, definitely interesting there.
So it should see the euro continue to move this week.
That's for sure, man. I'm interested in that to see what happens there too, especially in the statement, what the details of the statement are, to see if they give an additional insight that they actually stand behind, if they take a firm stance of any sort.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. Just really all eyes on that euro and the decision that they're going to make. And then you got everything still going on with Ukraine and Russia. You never know when you may see a ceasefire. So
yeah,
just multiple things happening that could affect that entire Eurozone, especially this week. So
no doubt, bro. We shall see.
Yep.
All right, so let's dive over to the charts. We'll take a look at the Aussie dollar, the euro dollar, and then I got to finish remarking the pound dollar. So we'll go through some live markups there. All right, so this Aussie dollar, right? Penny brokers down over the weekend, right? And we said watch for its continued move to the upside, right? AB boundary here came into this daily level, couldn't quite break through, created a new swing low here, right? So add this new low right here, right? Swing low. Yesterday's candle closed, got a new low, right? New swing low, and we're pushing to the upside, right? Broke through this previous daily resistance level here, tracking towards that 38.2 on the daily time frame, right? Price is pressing hard with that positive news coming out of Australia, the hawkish statement. Okay, so we'll see if this continues tracking to the upside, right? After we take a look at this, we'll take a look at the dollar index to see the inverse reaction there. Down to the 4, right? We had a small pattern there, only came to the 23.6 and we're pushing up. So I'll take this out for a second, right? But on this 4 hour, we got to the 38.2 level. We're continuing to press higher. The D extension, right? The 1618 extension is right in line with that 618 level, right? And a daily level of resistance. So don't be surprised if we get price to continue tracking higher and potentially not give us much of a retracement. Okay. We could see this just continue to rise and make it to that level. If we do get a retracement, it could just be back down to retest this daily level. And we got this strong breakthrough, right? And then give us that continuation higher, making its way up to this next level of daily resistance and getting back to this 618 level on this 4 hour fib, right? So this move is in motion and moving well. Off the weekend, we opened up here, right? Off the trend line break, we're up 103 pips, right? Looking for that to continue up to the higher ranges here. And then we'll see if we get a reaction of any sort at this next daily level, okay? That's the look from the 4. If we go to the 1, right? We got fibs running to the upside here on the 1. No, don't take that out. Let's see what to do here. Sorry about that. Nope. Tracking to that 38.2 on the 1 hour, right? Tracking to the 38.2 on the 1 hour. Breaking through that level, right? I ran an uptrend line here, just tracking price as it moves to the upside. I'm looking for at some point a reversal to come. When that some point is, we'll see. But we also have this daily level, right, in line with the 1 hour 618 retracement level as well, right? So we'll see how price responds here. We got a little bit of confluence on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. So we'll see where price comes in. That daily level is a 38.2 on the daily, right? This next daily resistance level, 618 on the 4, 618 on the 1, and the 38.2 on the daily. So we got a lot of confluence here at that daily level. So we'll see how the market responds once it gets there. If we continue pressing to the upside, it's a beautiful thing. If we get some consolidation and a reversal, right, that'll also be a beautiful thing. We'll be able to play that deep retracement level in our sweet spot on the 4, right? See if we get that push back down to the downside to come to the matching 1618 extension level, if we get that reversal to come. All right. So any questions on this Aussie dollar?
Your 1 hour fib, where did you start?
1 hour fib, I ran from this high here.
Oh, the very high. Awesome.
Yep. Any other questions? Nope. All right, cool deal. Let's pop back and look at the DXY real quick. Right, so this is the look on the 4, right? Dollar index running to the upside. We had our shallow retracement play on the fib to the upside. Here we go. Right, so here on the 4, shallow retracement 118 to 127 zone. Then we got this reversal and press down, right? Crashing through the trend lines, coming back to this monthly level. This monthly level is one that give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second. My bad. Sorry about that. I forgot to share the link inside of the inner circle group. So had to drop that link in there. But on the 4 hour, right? Thanks for that heads up, Benny. On the 4 hour, we got trend lines breaking to the downside here, right? Shallow retracement 118, 127. We're coming into this monthly level that we broke through, right? The previous high here. So want to see how price responds at this level, right? Do we break through and continue to get that deeper retracement? Or does price stall and just retest this level? I'll pop back to the daily to take a look at that. Take a look at that zone, but crashing through the trend lines right now, right? Coming into this key level that we want to keep our eyes on to see how the market responds from a monthly perspective, okay? We bounce back out to the daily and we clean these up. And this is what that looks like here on the daily, okay? This is that strong break of that monthly level, right? We got a shallow retracement, didn't quite get to the matching D extension, which is this thick red line here, okay? This is that thick red line here. Didn't quite get there, and we're pressing back down, right? Breaking through trend lines to the upside, coming back to this monthly level, okay? So this is the level that I got my eyes on to see how the market responds, but we'll see how this correlates to these dollar crosses in the retracements that are occurring, right? This is coming into a key level here, and those are also pressing to key levels, right? Which Benny broke down over the weekend. So we shall see how the market responds once it gets to these key levels, right? But right now we're in this retracement, right? Up retracement zone. We'll see how deep this retracement comes. That's going to be the question, okay? That's going to be the question. Yeah, if the ECB comes in extremely hawkish, right, we could see a continued press to the downside here, seeing as the DXY is heavily weighted by the euro. So we could see an impact there if we see something greater than a 25 basis point hike coming out of the ECB on Thursday. Okay. So that's the look, right? That's the look. The dollar's retracing now. We'll see how deep that retracement comes. And dollar pairs are retracing also. Okay. Any questions on the DXY? No. All right. Cool deal. So we'll take a look at the euro dollar, get an update on where that one is. So euro dollar is also on the move, right? That fib hasn't popped in yet, but right, this is the deepest point in between the AB boundary, right? Take this off so we can see this, right? AB, we had a shallow retracement off of this previous fib, price pressed down and hit the D extension. So seeing as it hasn't popped in just yet, we got the deepest point in between the AB boundary. This is our new A, previous C, right? And this is the first swing low after the D extension was achieved, right? So we'll just manually draw it in, bang, right? And price is pressing to this daily 38.2 level, right? Which is in line with previous daily support, right? This is that key multi-year low that price just broke through before pressed down to that parity level, right? 2016 was the last time it was at that level, right? Key level, okay? And now we're coming back to retest. We'll see if that level holds or if we get a break and continue to press deeper. We'll see. It's a pretty strong level, right? Took it a while to break through it, but it did. We'll see if it takes it a while to break back to the upside of it, okay? So pressing back to this 103, 291, 103, 452, right? Somewhere in that zone, looking at to see how the market responds or reacts at that zone, okay? So that's from a daily perspective. We drop down to the 4. Similar look, right? That level is also in line with the 4 hour 38.2, right? So we got confluence from the daily and the 4 hour at this 38.2 level, right? Coming in line with this daily level of resistance, retesting that previous low, okay? So keep our eyes on to see what happens and how the market responds. And then we drop down to the 1, and on the 1, we got fibs running to the upside here, right? fibs coming to the downside, took out the A, right? Came off this high here, right? So see our fib got taken out here, right? Previous fib, nice swing, right? Benny talked about this 38.2 and price not getting to the D extension and moving back to the upside. So we took out the A there, right? So when that occurs, we just flip the fib and run it in the opposite direction. Okay, so now we're pressing to the upside, coming into the 1 hour D extension, right? So we could get a slight reaction, retracement, and then continuation to this daily resistance level. Okay, so this is the level we got our eyes on to see how the market responds. Once that D extension is hit, we'll get a new fib that'll pop in, bang, right? And then we'll see how the market responds, right? See if it extends up or if it just runs all the way to it, gives us a new AB boundary, okay? So if you're in this one, continue watching to the upside, continue to manage your trade, right? If you're not in this and you're waiting on a high price, right? Watch the fibs on the 1 hour time frame to see if we get a new AB boundary or a shallow retracement, 118, 127 play in line with this daily resistance level. See if we catch a retracement play back to the downside, right? To see if we get that price to turn over. Okay, so beautiful play to the upside. Beautiful move, beautiful move, beautiful move. So continue watching it, run our trend line to the upside like so. Okay. The other thing about this euro dollar, talking about a little bit last week, but I'm looking at some more downside, potential downside movement, right? From a weekly perspective, we got a 50% retracement here, right? And this monthly resistance level. So if this daily level holds, right, we get this retracement to come back, and then we get a continued press down. We could have some additional downside movement potentially. This is a longer term play, and a lot has to come in alignment for this to occur, but this 93,121 level would be of interest if we get price to continue to turn over, if the ECB continues to stay hawkish, and if the Fed continues to stay hawkish as well and doesn't take their foot off the pedal. So we'll see how that goes and how that plays out, but that's something that I am watching. That's something that I am watching to see if we get that continued downside movement, continue to press down here, right? So this is a level that I do have my eyes on for potential longer term take profit level if we get lower and break through these lower levels of support. Okay, so that's something else just from a longer term perspective that I do have my eyes on from a bearish perspective. If we break back above these weekly levels, that could be out, right? And we could make a move higher. That would take a lot of turning for the ECB for that to occur. So but that's a longer term perspective that I'm watching overall. So just want to give you a note there. Any questions on this euro dollar? No? Okay. Sweet. So we'll do we'll complete my markup here on this GU pair that I didn't quite finish up. And then we'll continue moving through. All right. So GU will bounce back to the daily time frame to see where we are. Didn't get to a 38.2 level on the daily, right? Fib coming from the high. Okay. So came back down to this daily support level, right? And we got this bounce coming back to, right, again, key level, right? Same as the DXY, right? Coming into a key level of resistance. Okay. So we'll see how this level holds. Okay. We'll see how this level holds. Potentially, right, if things turn over, if this level holds, we get a press back down, could be looking at a potential double bottom scenario here at this 141,117 at the end of the day, potentially lower, but we'll see if we get price to turn over and press lower, break through this daily support, and then get back to that level, right? So we could press lower before turning around and pressing higher. Okay, so that's a long-term look there on the pound. So back to the 4. Got fibs coming to the downside. Let's see where they finish out. All of these are going to get taken out in the consolidation. So we'll come to this high here. And nope. Let's see. Let's go back to the daily time frame. What I'll do is I'll take this high here. And I'll move this one down. There we go. So we'll take that one and then we'll run from here. All right, there we go. That's the ticket. All right, so, and this is it, right? So on the 4, we already got 618 retracement, right? And we're coming back to retest this daily level. So here, this is some confluence of this 141,117 level, right? From a 4-hour perspective, if we get this retest and if this price holds here at this level, right, this could give us that continued press down to get to this 4-hour D extension, which is just shy of that 14117 level, okay? Which will give us that longer term double bottom from way back here, okay? So that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm watching for, right? If you play this move to the upside, beautiful, right? Nice move coming back to this daily resistance level. Now I want to see, do we get price to turn over and give us that press back to the downside, okay? You can run your trend lines to the downside like so. To see where that retest comes. All right, so we're running an inner trend line coming off of this touch here, coming down. Right, and prices it started to move sideways, so these trend lines start to get really, really tight here, right? But that's your last trend line to the downside, and you see price came back to it, right? And now we're getting some hesitation, right? Price is stalling here, some indecision. So we'll see again if this trend line in conjunction with this daily resistance levels hold, and then price turns over and press to the downside. Okay, so that's the look from the 4. We drop down to the 1. And I want to check the fibs coming down just to ensure that we're good. Got taken out there. Got taken out there. And there we go. Yep. So on this one, right, 50% retracement. That's that daily level. Not quite a 618 where we'd like it to be, but 50% in conjunction with a daily resistance level. If that holds, right, again, looking for price to turn over. Also potentially giving us, right, if this forms this double top here, which we kind of saw on the 4, right? Double top scenario right here. Okay. If this forms, if the swing high forms, right, and gives us that push back down, that could also be an indication for us of price reversal. Okay. 50% retracement in conjunction with a daily resistance level. Okay. So also what you can do here on the 1, since price is moving to the upside and potentially looking for reversal, right? Drop your trend line here and run your trend lines to the upside and wait for that trend line break. right? If you're trading off the 1 hour time frame, this is what that look would be. Okay. You could, if you wanted to be more aggressive and draw an aggressive inner trend line coming like so. Like that. Okay. Wait for nice bearish break of that trend line, right? And give you some additional confirmation for the move to come back down to the downside. Okay. So that's the look on the pound dollar. This is what I'm looking for at some point for this to reverse and give us a move back to the downside to complete that 4 hour fib and potentially give us that double bottom look down here at that 14117. Okay. Any questions on this pound dollar? No?
Nope.
All right. Cool deal. Now let's go over to take a look at this UCAD. It's sideways. Sideways. From a daily perspective, right? Price sideways. Okay. It's sideways. Came back down to this daily support level here. Actually, let's do this. Let's clean this up and we'll remark this one as well. Give us a fresh look. Come back out to the monthly. Benny gave us the yearly look over the weekend. But we'll start at the monthly here. All-time highs, all-time lows, like so. All right, and we'll drop in our support and resistance. Get these levels in. Okay, we got one there. And here. And we got our support. You see how this has just been super choppy, right? We got a strong Canadian dollar, a strong US dollar, right? So it's just been a choppy move, but overall still moving to the upside, okay? So we'll see over time which one actually fares the strongest. But when you have two strong currencies, you get a lot of choppy movement, right? Or you get two weak currencies, you get a lot of choppy movement, right? Excuse me. So that's our monthly support and resistance there. We'll drop down to the daily, to the weekly, and do the same thing. Change that to blue. Resistance there, resistance there. And there. Now here, we're going to take this resistance level and we're going to mark it. However, if, and this is 2 weeks from now, but if in 2 weeks we get 2 candles to the right lower, right, this will be our new resistance level. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But for now, this is we're gonna take this weekly level, and then we'll get a daily level. Excuse me, guys. We'll get a daily level once we drop down to the daily time frame as that resistance level there. Okay, so this is our daily support here. All right, now we'll go down to the daily. Right, and this that high that we just looked at here. It'll be a daily resistance, like so. Then 2 daily support levels. But ultimately, this is the range that prices kind of sort of bouncing in between. Okay. Thought we're getting a breakout of it to the upside here, right? And then price came right back into the range. Okay. And now we're pressing to the downside. And we'll see how far down this downside movement goes, right? A lot will be hinging on the Fed, but also oil. The other thing that I heard regarding, not necessarily specifically regarding oil, but energy in general, because of the conversations President Biden had over in the Middle East, there's a potential that he could declare an energy crisis, right? A lot of things come into play there. It's not confirmed yet, but that's one of the, I'll call it a rumor for now. One of the rumors that's out there is that President Joe Biden could declare an energy crisis due to continued increased prices in oil and gas and issues that are happening around the world, right? If that Nord Stream pipeline doesn't open on time, if Saudi Arabia doesn't come through with some additional quote unquote supply, that could be the declaration. And if that occurs, we could definitely see impacts to the energy sector overall, right? Which includes gas. So, I mean, oil. So we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the week, this week and the beginning of next week, to see if that is something that does come to fruition. But that is something that's being talked about in your non-mainstream media, is the potential for an energy crisis declaration from the president. So continue to keep your eyes peeled on that. So that could also impact the Canadian dollar as well, if oil is impacted with that energy crisis statement. All right. So just from a Fib perspective, we got a 38.2, but we know this is sideways movement consolidation. So we'll see how these Fibs play out. Generally during consolidation, they get taken out on both directions. But we got a 38.2 off of this daily Fib to the upside. We're coming back down. We'll see if we get a swing low to form, or if price continues to press down to this previous level of daily support, right? We had this. This is something also something interesting to note. We had a strong bullish move here, right? Market took back a little bit, pressed higher, and then came back and is taking back more of that bullish move. So this is a range that I've had my eyes on, right? Where this bullish candle took off out of this consolidation zone here, right? Price did come back to retest that zone. So we'll see if this level is able to hold, and then see if we get this to turn back around and push to the upside, right? So that's what I have my eyes on, is this level, right? Price is pressing back down into it now. We'll see if it continues to press deeper, right? If this level is able to hold, we could see this turn around and continuous press to the upside, making it to, at some point, this daily de-extension around that 134, 188 level. Okay. A lot of things got to come into play. A lot of levels got to be broken to get there. But my thought is, if this level holds, right, where we had the strong move out last beginning of the month, we could see this move to the upside if this level holds, right? So that's my thought. That's my thought. But that's our look from a daily time frame perspective. Okay. There. So we got our support and resistance in. We got our key levels to watch. That's the daily Fib, to see if we stay above this 38.2 level, press higher, or if we break back below, get to this daily support. And then if we break that, right, we could be headed down to 125, 182. Okay. So that's the daily look on this. If we drop to the 4, we'll take these out. James, you got a question?
No, I don't. I'm just watching.
All
This
right.
is just second time here.
Welcome. Glad to have you. We'll go ahead and mute your line. All right, we'll drop to the 4. We'll take a look at it from the Fib perspective. Look at this move to the upside, but it'll be a similar deal. All right, that one got taken out. We'll come to this low here. So here on the 4, right, 786 retracement, right? It's the AB boundary here. That strong push to the upside got us to the matching D extension off of a 786 retracement, right? 1.18 extension, swing high formed, nice retracement. So we got an 8.6 retracement here on the 4. Okay. 38.2 on the daily, coming back to this level, right? This is that previous consolidation zone that I told you I was looking at. And it's right in line with this 786 retracement, right? Price pushed down, we got to push up, and now we're getting this retracement. Okay. So from a 4-hour perspective, this could be, if these levels hold, right, and price does not take out this A, this could be a nice setup for us if we get a trend line break to the upside, right? That's a steep trend line, but that's what it would be. Okay, we can drop to the 1 to get a better look of it. But trend line coming down. Okay, originally it would have been something like that. It's pressing back down. I'll take it to the outermost point as it's moving back down into this range. Okay, want to see a break of this trend line to the upside. But that's a nice risk to reward setup, right, off the 4-hour time frame. So we're looking at it like this, right? Price came back down into our sweet spot, right? You're risking this, right? So you risk of 117 pips for 394, right? If the price is to turn around here in this zone and press to the upside, right? So what we say, 120, right? So greater than the 2 to 1 in that scenario, right? 3 to 1, 3 to 1, right? And this is your reward. Okay. Bang. Like so. Okay. So this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at if we get price to turn over and press back to the upside. Okay. So keep your eyes peeled. Watch to see how the market responds. New York session opens. And as we move through the week, if you're not already in this to the upside off the deep retracement, right? If we get that trend line break, look for price to move to the upside there. Okay. Any questions? I'll drop down to the 1 hour to get that 1 hour look as well. But any questions on this dollar CAD play?
Nope.
All right. Give me 1 second. $183. All right. So as we drop to the 1, so that's our 4 hour. Drop to the 1, and we'll look at this. I believe that 1 hour fib got taken out. Let's come back to the low. Yep, we got fibs taken out in both directions here. There we go. Let's take these out and clean this up. Okay, so here on the 1 hour, it's choppy, but came just shy of a 786 retracement here on the 1. Just shy of a 786 retracement, right? So 618 retracement, coming back, pressing down, retesting that level, matching D extension again is here, right? Inside that 4 hour, but still a beautiful risk to reward nonetheless, right? So if you want to take the trade off the 1 and run the 1 hour fibs to the upside as price moves in our favor, you definitely could. And you're looking at a risk of 103 pips for 287. Okay. So regardless of the time frame that you're looking at, right, that could be an opportunity for you. Play this thing to the upside. Okay. So that's the 1 hour look. It's choppy, not the best look, not the best feel. However, it's moving in waves nonetheless. All right. So no questions on the dollar CAD. We will pop over and take a look at, we'll take a look at UJ. This is one we'll definitely have to do a new markup on. I don't trade the dollar yen a lot. Because it can get really, really choppy sometimes, but it still moves. It still moves. So we'll clean this up. We'll take a look at our levels. All right, so we'll pop back to the monthly and we'll get it in real quick. Monthly time frame. We're inching toward that all-time high. I didn't realize this, but we have a crown pattern that's playing out. No, head and shoulders pattern is playing out. Take that off. Here. Did it break that high? Let's see. Just slightly. Yeah, it did slightly take out that high. So it would be a crown pattern, but I didn't realize this until now. Took out that previous high. Oops. Crown pattern. There we go. Right? Left tip. Center tip. Took out the previous high, even just barely. Right tip. Right? And then we got the finish. So if we on this on the monthly time frame, if we run this fib here, we got a 50% retracement. If this thing plays out completely, right, 158,492 could be the destination. If this plays out completely, we'll see if that happens. Right, this is an all-time high here at 147,689. If things get too out of hand, the Bank of Japan will intervene, right? So this could be way out of hand, but we could at least be headed back to this all-time high of 147,689. Okay. So we'll continue monitoring this one. Strong move to the upside, right, on this right tip. Man, I wish I would have saw that before. But beautiful move to the upside. At some point, we could get a retracement and then a continuation, but price is moving. So this is the next target, in my opinion, is 147,689. Okay, at the all-time high, and then we'll see how the market responds from there. But crown pattern there on the monthly time frame playing out. Interesting. All right, so we got an all-time low here. And then we'll get our monthly support and resistance. That's there. Nothing in the way of price right now from a monthly perspective. All right. So we got that there, that there, that one there, and then support there. All right. So that's our monthly support and resistance. We'll drop down to the weekly. So still nothing in the way of this next level. There's nothing in the way. So we'll get our support levels in. Blue. Weekly support. Weekly support. There and there. Okay. All right. So that's our week. Those are our weekly levels. We'll drop to the daily. Same thing. Out. All right. Zoom out. See. Getting a retracement right now. We got a new swing high to form there. All right. This is the next support level. So we could get a nice little retracement here. And then we'll see if price presses back to the upside from there. Okay. So turn this to red. Got supports here. Support there. there, and there, and our resistance level here. Okay. So we could potentially end in this range, right? We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. It gets interesting. This thing could range for quite some time before breaking out in one direction or the other. You see these long consolidation zones that it's had over time. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. So that's our support and resistance, daily, weekly, and monthly. Okay. So we'll pop back out. We'll come to the low and we'll run our fib. Let's run a fib. Yeah. Okay. Take that out. We'll come to this low here. Run the fibs to the upside. So where we're sitting right now, we got a shallow retracement. Price came into this 118 and 127 zone, created a swing high, right? And now we're getting a retracement. So the question is, how deep does the retracement go? All right. We know the dollar's pulling back. So all of these pairs are retracing, right? So does this come back to this daily support level and then turn over and press higher? Okay. Or, right, this is a previous daily resistance level here, right? It's a previous swing high. So does price stall here and just retest this level that it broke through and then press higher, right? So like I said, this one can consolidate and get really, really choppy. So we'll see how it plays out. Do we get a deep retracement? It called for the dollar to continue to press down and potentially even for the Bank of Japan to come in pretty hawkish for this to continue to press to the downside and come back inside this AB boundary. So I don't know if that occurs, but we'll watch these levels to see what happens. I'm going to take this daily level out for now and just leave this open to see where this presses, right? Because we could get it to press at least down to this 134.708 level before reversing. We got Bank of Japan information coming out tomorrow, so we'll see how it fares. Okay. But that's the daily look on this, right? Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, did get a turnover, right? If you did play this off the lower time frame, it's 191 pip move, right? It's a beautiful move off the swing. So beautiful if you took that. So that's the daily look, right? So let's drop to the 4, look at it from a Fibonacci perspective. We'll come back to our low. Don't believe it'll take it here. Nope. We'll come to this low here. That's not it either. Continue finding the lows until we get price to press to the upside. There we go. Okay. Here we came just shy of that 38.2 level. Couldn't quite get to the D extension, right? Came just shy, and now we're getting this retracement. All right, now we're getting this retracement. So that's the look on the 4, right? Again, another shallow retracement scenario. Came just shy of the D extension here, of the 1618 extension. So now we're pressing back down. We'll see how far we press down on this retracement. Okay, so that's the look on the 4, right? You can run your trend lines from the low just to track price to the upside. Like this. Okay, not cutting off any of those wicks. And then like so. Okay. And this will be your inner trend line coming off of your last touch. Like so. So right now, price is at that inner trend line. Okay. If that breaks, we could see price, like I said, gravitate down to this daily support level in conjunction with this middle trend line here. Okay, trend line to trend line. So we'll see how the market responds here to see if we get that continued press down. Okay, so that is the dollar yen moving to the downside, moving to the downside. Okay, potentially could continue before we get a reversal. All right, any questions on the dollar yen? Nope. All right. And we'll take a look quickly at dollar Swiss. This will continue to fall, man. Continue to press to the downside. Where'd you have your limit set on this one, Benny?
I took my buy limits out
You took it out? Okay.
based on what we were seeing Saturday. Put it down trend line
Yeah.
on the 4 to see if if it continues to fall, then it's going to take the A out on the 4.
Yep.
But we discussed how I was going to eliminate the buy limits and then just wait for confirmation, trend line breaks and things like that to the upside, because that dollar, there's no telling on how far it wants to correct. So
yeah, for sure. All right, let's clear it out. Back to the monthly. Our high here, our low here, like so. All right, we had a bunch of sideways movement. Whoops. There we go. There we go. All right. So we'll get these monthly levels in. So again, once the swing high forms, right, that'll be our high. These two levels will be taken out, right? So once this monthly candle closes, if it closes lower, right, that'll be our swing high there. We'll take these. All right, drop to the weekly. Like so. Blue. And there. Support level here. There and there. I'm going to leave this monthly level here, right? These levels are really, really, really close to each other, really tight. So I'm just going to leave that as a monthly support level, and that'll be the zone that we watch if price ever comes back down to that zone. Okay. So that's our look on the weekly time frame to the daily. Here we are. Support there. And there. Okay. Those are our daily, weekly, monthly levels. Right. So if we run our fib to the upside here, clear those out. So, right. So we got a 50% retracement. And then we're moving sideways here on the daily time frame. Okay. So as we drop to the 4. Yeah, it was. It was definitely a smooth move to the upside last week for sure. Sure. Beautiful move. Now we're getting this nice retracement to happen. All right. So on the 4, we'll come back. I believe it started at that M formation, but we'll run them just to see. Go. Yep, took it out to the downside. So we're here. This is that A that you're talking about right here, right, Benny?
yep. So
It's almost there.
yeah. So that's why I took the buy limits out, put it down trend line, because that DXY is correcting. And then I just opted for Euro USD long, NZD USD long.
Yep.
You know, and played those instead.
I dig it. I dig it 100%.
I'm short right now on the UJ.
Yep. Off that 80-20 off the daily.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful work, man. Beautiful work. So we'll see how far this one falls. We'll see how far it falls. Sitting right at that A boundary right now. Another push will take it out, and then we'll just flip the fib from the top to the bottom. Right. So we got came shy of that 38.2 level. Right. And we'll see if we press down to get to that D extension, but we'll at least take that daily that A out, and then we'll see when we get a reversal. Right. But that's the move to the downside there. Just wait and see there. All right. Any questions on any of these dollar pairs? I know we did fresh markups. Benny went over them in depth this weekend, but that's where we're sitting. Tons of beautiful moves to the upside, right? Still a little bit more room to go, and waiting to see how each pair responds at the key levels. Okay. Any questions? No? All right. New folks, right? Everybody. Repetition is the mother of all skill, right? So we saw Benny do it, see me do it, and we'll continue to do them, right? And we'll get some of you on the screen to do lead some of these markups, right? Get a little bit outside of your comfort zone, right? To start doing this at a different level. All right. Benny, you got anything for a closeout, bro?
No, sir. Awesome session. I look forward to seeing everybody this evening, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right, everybody. Have an awesome, I see you, Ebony. Everybody have an awesome Tuesday. We'll see you tonight. Peace.